Oh, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone. Mrs. Claus here, and I thought I would share with you some of my gingerbread baking that I'm doing this year. I'm rather excited. I spent some of my time yesterday making this gingerbread dough and making little people. So I've got 2 different styles of people here and a couple of others that I've been baking and having a lot of fun with. Now, I don't know if you know this, but gingerbread is very tricky to get together and to get right because it's so sticky when you first finish making it. So I have my icing in my piping bag, and I think I'm going to start with maybe a little pair of overalls on one of my gingerbread people. I've gotten lots of questions about why Santa likes having cookies when he stops at your home. I don't know if you know this, but Santa loves cookies. Absolutely loves them. But the other thing he does is he's collecting cookie recipes for me. I always like getting new ideas. I'll make them at the North Pole the rest of the year until he brings new ideas for the next Christmas. This is going to remind me of some of our elves. There we go. Just like that. Do you happen to have a favorite cookie? Are you going to leave it out for Santa? You know, while I'm thinking about it, one of the other things that we really love to see on those plates is something for the reindeer. Now, I don't know if you know this about me. My usual responsibilities here at the North Pole include care of and feeding of all of the reindeer. I do their training and make sure that they're doing a very good job about eating their carrots, which they gobble up whole as a special treat, and that they get their exercise and that they spend time outside and together. There we go. You know, if you haven't baked gingerbread before, you can always get a gingerbread kit. And just be really patient as you wait for the gingerbread and the icing to stick together. When you're putting up walls of a house, that can always be a little frustrating. And the wonderful thing about making a gingerbread is it doesn't matter if it's not perfect, does it? Because we're just going to get to eat them anyway. And they all taste exactly the same in our tummies, even if our icing didn't turn out just the way we wanted. You know, this is one of those things that I like to do that relaxes me. If it's been very busy or stressful training the reindeer that day, I love to decorate gingerbread because it gives me something to focus on, and it gives me a time that I can do some quiet breathing and some focusing. And I like to sit out here. I'll sit outside because sometimes it can be a little noisy at the pole inside where the kitchen is. And so a little bit of time outside. Have you been spending time outside this year? We had lots more time this year to be at home than we have before. And I know that that was very tricky. Sometimes we wanted to be outside, or we wanted to be able to see our friends more. And it's not the same seeing them over a video and blowing them kisses and sending them hugs as it is getting to hug them. But you were very, very good this year, weren't you? All good and patient and very understanding. Lots of things changed a whole lot this year. And we kept having to adapt, right? Is that a word that you've heard? To adapt, or maybe just be patient. I bet you heard that this year too. Patience isn't always easy, but it is a good thing for us to practice. Wonderful. So now I have 10 cookies with green icing on them, and I'm going to go get a couple of other cookies, okay? Let's see here. Oh, I know. I should change out my icing color, shouldn't I? Maybe a red. Wouldn't that be lovely? And I'll go through and I'll add little peppermint stripes to things. And I'm gonna go get a little bowl of water for dabbing my finger in to push down my points. I will be right back. I've come back with some red to do some details and fun things on some of my gingerbread. And so I thought maybe it might be nice to do a couple of little accents on these. I've also come through with a little bit of water in a bowl on my finger with my very clean hands and just kind of tapped down very gently all the little points from where I picked up my piping bag. So let's see if I can't do some fun red accents on some of these gingerbread people. I think she's gonna get some stripes on her skirt. I don't know if you know this. Peppermint is one of my favorite flavors and patterns. So you'll see that there are lots of peppermint things here at the North Pole in the way that we decorate. Let's make it a pretty bow. Like that. When I was a little girl, I wore lots and lots of sashes on things. I always felt so fancy when I did that. Now, so many of my sashes come in all these different colors. Santa finds me new ones all the time. Would you like to see her sash? Here's her pretty little bow on her sash. Did you know that different elves have different jobs here at the North Pole? Not all of them make toys. Some of them work hard on making sure Santa's sleigh is ready for his flight and keeps him safe. Some of them help me in the stables with the reindeer. Some of the toy-making elves specialize in stuffed animals. Some of them specialize in action figures. Every elf has their own special job at the North Pole. And they sing while they make or while they work, because it does help pass the time. I often will sing with them. I love to sing. I do. See, when I was born, the first sound I ever made sounded like singing. And so my parents named me Carol. Well, it just happened to work out beautifully when I met Santa, now didn't it? Because now I'm his little Christmas carol. And it delights me so much. That's one. I have several more. I made a dozen heart-shaped cookies. But Santa got a hold of some of them before I could ice them all. He's always so excited for more cookies. Santa has been doing some long winter snapping in between checking in with the elves and checking the list twice. And I'm grateful for that. I always worry Santa is overworked this time of the year. Do you know the thing I think about most on Christmas Eve? I think about all of you wonderful children and all of the ways that you are going to be delighted and full of joy and love on Christmas morning. And I think about my Santa and hoping that he gets home safely. I don't know if you know this. Would you like to see my wedding ring? Santa made it for me in the workshop. My ring isn't very large or very fancy, but it's exactly what I wanted. Santa took one of the shed antlers from the reindeer and he carved it into a little ring shape. And then, inside the ring, he embedded 3 little stars in a row. You see, those are the stars of the constellation Orion. I love stargazing. And Orion is part of how Santa navigates his way back home to me and to the North Pole and all of us. What a thoughtful gift of Santa. It always makes me smile. One of the baby reindeer was in test flight, and I thought I heard him giggling. He may join the sleigh team in a few years. All right, now it smiles for some more of my big gingerbread. Right down here. time, everyone gets a turn. Much like waiting to talk to Santa. Everybody gets their own special turn. And a Claus puts a smile on their face. I think Santa is going to like these a lot. Although there's not a cookie I've seen that Santa doesn't like. Well, it will be time for details very soon. And so I will be back shortly with a little bit of white icing in my piping bag to finish up my cookies. So I have changed to my white icing and it's time to finish all of my gingerbread people. I've been very excited to get to do this today. Would you like to see her little peppermint skirt? Here's one of my more traditional looking gingerbread. He's got little red buttons and little green decorations on the ends of his arms and legs. These are making me so jolly today. Don't cookies make you feel jolly? I like adding these last little details because they make the gingerbread shine with a special little personality. Each one unique and special. I think I'm going to have to resist the urge to eat some of these cookies a little early. I want to be sure to show Santa. And also to get to show you. So give me just a moment while I make things a little easier to see. And I'll be right back.
Ready for a plate, and then for tummies. I think they turned out rather well this year.
There.